Hey Dad, is it ever okay to disclose my limerence to my limerent object?
This is an interesting question because with limerence, there is nearly always an overwhelming desire to disclose our feelings to the other person. Now, I would say that the only time it might be okay, and not to disclose how you're obsessed by the other person, but where you perhaps you like the other person, is if you're free and available for a relationship and they're free and available. That would be the only time. Any other time, if the other person's in a relationship, it's not appropriate. Certainly if you're in a relationship, it's not appropriate to disclose. And if neither of you are free, then no, I don't think it's appropriate. And the other problem is that if the other person knows that we are obsessed by them, if they really knew the depth and craziness of our feelings, and I think this brings to mind stalking, the other person would be really fearful that we're stalking them, and that's not appropriate. It's not nice to know that somebody is that obsessed by somebody else. It can be quite threatening for them as well. I think that quite often I would say, no, it's not appropriate. Sadly, I've seen it all too often. I have clients that have disclosed their limerence, and sometimes I do see that when somebody's disclosed limerence, it then does add fuel to the fire and then does create an environment where the fantasy can develop into a full-blown affair. And affairs never good, never healthy. Much better we communicate to our partner that we are unhappy or what's going on that makes us have limerence, because we're pushed away from what we don't like and we're pulled towards what we do like. So what's pushing us away from our current long-term relationship? Because that is the fertile environment where affairs start. Much better we communicate. And it might even be that you're in a relationship where you're able to tell your partner that you have limerence for somebody else. But it's certainly something that does need to be talked about more, because there is so much shame around limerence. Anyhow, love to hear your comments. Did you disclose? If you did it go well? Did it not go well? When I had limerence, I disclosed, and in hindsight, it was the worst thing I ever did. At the time, it was the best decision I could make with the knowledge I had, but in hindsight, with all the work I've done and all the knowledge now, it was the absolute wrong thing to do, the worst thing to do, and I deeply regret that I did that. But I'd love to hear your comments, so put them in the comments section, and check out our other TikToks for all things relationship and therapy, and our Instagrams as well.